Well, I think what has kind of alarmed me even more is that what we have felt like we've had to agree with from a church model perspective in that, okay, I guess 1% of us have to take the hit and become celebrities in these church structures. Now we're telling that to everybody. Exert as much influence on social media as you possibly can.
Right.
Like everybody can have a platform now. And so now everybody is being tempted in the same way to basically emphasize the public persona over the private reality. And I think that again, Jesus already solved this problem. He solved it. He was incredibly famous, and it's fascinating the way he dealt with it. There's a pattern in the Gospels, which is the more famous Jesus became, he would do two things. That one is that he would be even more adamant to focus on the small band of guys who were around him, and two, when he got in front of the crowds, his teaching got harsher and more sharper in order to whittle really whittle down the crowd. I mean, Luke 14, I think is one of the another example of where he hit kind of a pinnacle
Yep.
of popularity. And that's when he says he's literally walking, says he turns to the crowds and says, if anyone does not hate his father and mother, his wife and children, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple if he does not take up his cross and follow. Like the most offensive thing you could. And then it says he turns around and walks away. He says something that no pastor would ever say without explaining it. Like,
That's
hate your
right.
father. What the heck are you talking about? But
Yeah.
what Jesus was clearly trying to drive an incredible sharp wedge into that crowd
Yeah.
through this language he was using, this intuition of go smaller and go. And if you're in a more public situation, become sort of less attractional because you've already got more influence than you can possibly steward.
Handle. Yeah.
Yeah, so the idea that you're gonna crank it up more and you're gonna soften your message so that you can yeah, this is what I'm wrestling with is that I feel like Jesus already solved this problem, and we need to. And it seems like Paul had a similar way of handling like how he would when he was in front of crowds towards the end of Acts. I mean, yeah, he was just incredibly blunt because why do I need more celebrity? Why am I protecting
Right.
that in some way or afraid that I'm going to get canceled? Like all these
Yeah.
guys got canceled by the end of their life because they were cranking that volume up because they had already achieved way more notoriety than they needed to make disciples. Is that what's, I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I've noticed is happening in these models.
Yeah. They both seem to be saying with their language, if you came to see a sideshow, I will offend you as soon as possible and get you removed. If
Yes.
you're one of these people who's pressing in, this is Jesus speaking to them in parables,
Yeah.
so that hearing they wouldn't hear and seeing they wouldn't see. If you came to see something, not only am I not giving you that, I'm going to offend you as soon as possible to get you removed from the scene. And those people who are pressing in and like they want me, even if I say something that sounds nonsensical, they're going to stare at me. They're going to
Yeah.
wonder. They're going to talk about it. And they're not
Yes.
going anywhere. I love that. To me, that
Mm.
one of the chiefest throwdowns of his life, you referenced John 6, is in this. So you want to follow a celebrity, huh? Talk after telling everybody, now you'll have to break all Jewish laws and drink blood if you want to follow me. And then he turns to his disciples and goes, "Are you guys interested in leaving too? You want to leave too?" And they're like, "Haven't we been with you the whole time? What are you talking about?" And I mean, certainly their status rose as his status rose.
Yes.
Everybody knows they're here, the insider guys. This happened when they went to Caiaphas's house on the night of the crucifixion. Oh, you're one of are you one of his disciples too? Like you're one of his posse, right?
Yeah.
And so Jesus kind of turns on all of them, goes, maybe you would like to end what you're doing because I'm clearly not going to be, if anybody had celebrity eyeballs, stars in their eyes, I'm not doing that.
Mm.
So don't you love him for it? I mean, this
Yeah.
is his version of taking the low place, right? It's another version of him
Yes.
going out
Hmm.
into the wilderness alone.
Yes. Yeah. The idea that the bigger your platform is, the more cowardly you would become is inverted, right? So the bigger your platform is, the more courageous, the less you have to lose. But only if you are primarily relying on those smaller arenas or the actual transformation that you're trying to create can you have the courage to do that. If you're primarily focused on the large arena to do the transformation,
Yeah.
then it's going to be very difficult for you to sacrifice the the size, the reputation of that you've developed. And so that's I think that maybe is where I'm landing, and this is what I'm really trying to understand. This is why I really do think there is a, and maybe celebrity versus discipleship culture or lifestyle isn't the perfect way to say it. It could be that attractional, or there's the word there, celebrity could be, I want to be nuanced enough to say, yeah, it has to do with a system of like the public large space is what you're protecting and your primary arena of transformation, as opposed to that's the place where I whittle them down to the private and the discipleship, the transformational arena. And because I'm
Yeah.
focused there, I'm never afraid of what I'm saying publicly.
Yeah.
Okay, the worst that could happen is the 20,000 walk away, but the 12, they get it, they see it, they trust, they understand. You're not going to lose that connection because of something you say publicly.
Right.
People know you privately. Like, I know his kids, I know his wife, I've been to his house, I've seen how he lives. He's the real deal. Like
Yeah.
those are the people that you should be concerned about. The fact that you said something that, somebody who didn't know you is offended by and frustrated by, that welcome to the club. That's the New Testament is just full of that. That's the whole point of having that may be the point of having a large platform, is so that you
Yeah.
can say those things.
Yeah.